Hi friends, I'm Yamini and welcome back to the Saturn box. So, today I'm going to be talking about the seventh house in Vedic astrology. Okay, and I'm doing a series of houses in astrology currently, and I have finished the first six houses. So, in case you've missed out any of the videos regarding the other houses, the first six houses in Vedic astrology, do go back and check it out in my playlist. And today I'm going to talk about the seventh house. It is also called the Kalatra Bhava or the Kamasthana. And why so? Because the seventh house deals with marriage, deals with our other half. And interestingly, the seventh house is also, it also shows a reflection of who we are because it is the seventh from the first house. So it's just opposite to the ascendant. Okay, and the seventh house, as I said, deals with marriage. Basically, uh, what I mean by marriage is any sort of a contractual relationship. Okay, so it can be marriage, one, it can be a business partnership also. So anything which we get into, all our dealings with other people, because the first house is you yourself and the seventh house is other people or the other person. So the any dealing with anyone, that could be your spouse, could be your business partner, could be a live-in partner, it all comes under the seventh house. Okay, and this house is it generally shows what is the state of our happiness. Are you happy in your life's journey or not? Why so? Because uh, seventh house is the first in the brighter side of the horoscope. Okay, the houses till we have done till now are the dark side of the horoscope. So from the seventh is where the brighter side of the horoscope is looked at. So seventh to 12th. Okay, now in the journey of one's life, you take birth, you interact with your family, you gain education and everything. Sometime around, when you start your livelihood and then you subsequently get married, get settled in life, that is when the number of people whom you're interacting with, matters a lot. Till then, you were busy building up your skill sets, you were busy preparing yourself to deal with the world. And the seventh house basically talks about your dealings, right? So it shows your till now whatever skills you have acquired, how are you putting them to use when it comes to other people, when it comes to business, is what the seventh house talks about. Okay, and this house, when I say business, why is business seen from this house? Is because this house is the 10th from the 10th house. The 10th house is the house of karma, and the 10th from 10th is the higher order of that house. So it talks about our business, our karma. Okay, this house also, when we talk about marriage and spouse, etc., this house shows the promise of marriage. So if you have the promise of marriage indicated, it will tell you whether the marriage is going to be early or it's going to be a late or delayed marriage, and what will be the state of your marriage. So that depends on what kind of a spouse you get. Okay, so what will be the how are you going to be behaving with your spouse, how will he or she be with you. Okay, and similarly it happens with the business partner as well. Now there's a difference. The spouse, we share our lives with our spouse. It's, in most of the cases it's till one of the partners is no more. But a business partnership can end, it can start anytime, it can end anytime. It's a totally purely legal contract. A marriage is also a legal contract, but then again there's a social angle to it. You get emotionally involved with your spouse. So that's the reason that this house also talks about your state of happiness. Yeah. Now, this house is also, taken into consideration when we see the second born. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, the fifth house talks about your, first child or the promise of progeny. Okay, and it talks about promise. It talks about your firstborn, the first child, and the seventh house is the third from the fifth, and we see our younger siblings from the third. So the younger siblings of your firstborn would be third from the fifth, that is the seventh house. So the chances of having a second born child and the status of a second born is seen from the seventh house. Yeah, and if we have a look at the planets, posited in the seventh house. So if I talk about, say, moon, or okay, let's begin with sun in the seventh house. Sun in the seventh house would show that you'll come across a life partner who's going to be authoritative. Okay, and there are, sun in the seventh house is not a very good placement, because there might be issues regarding ego. So the partner might be having, may not be ready to compromise on things. Yeah, so wherever, as I keep mentioning, wherever sun is, our ego comes into play. Yeah, so sun shows that the partner is strong, authoritative, could be in the government service, but also there are ego issues. There might be anger issues as well. Yeah, the moon in the seventh house shows a spouse who is moody, or someone who changes their mind very easily, very who's fickle minded, could be very very emotional as well. Yeah, now this is a general placement I'm talking about. The actual placement and the placements of the other planets in the horoscope actually decides the whole picture. Yeah, now if you have Mars in the seventh house, it shows a partner who's aggressive. Okay, it also indicates Manglik or Kuja dosha. Okay, that is another topic regarding marriage, which I shall be covering in my subsequent videos. Yeah, Mercury in the seventh house shows a partner who's very intelligent, because Mercury is a planet of intelligence. Okay, who's Mercury is also a planet which shows communication. So a partner who's intelligent, who's very communicative, who's a little light-hearted, jovial, because Mercury is is a planet which shows humor and joyfulness also. Okay, Venus in the seventh house shows an attractive spouse, so an attractive, charismatic spouse, who's bringing in the qualities of Venus. Jupiter in the seventh house shows a partner who's intelligent, who's wise, okay, and who might have a philosophical bent of mind, so believes in higher learning. Saturn in the seventh house shows a marriage which is running on practical grounds. Okay, so there might be no romantic dinners or surprise gifts or romantic getaways, but the marriage would be a very very practical arrangement. It also shows that one may have a spouse who's quite a few years elder than you. Okay, so there would be some amount of uh, unconventional issues might be there. Okay, so there might be a huge age difference, there might be, or I would say that one is married to someone who's very advanced in years, very matured as such. Okay, comparatively compared to the native. Okay, now Rahu in the seventh house. Now this is a very tricky placement. Rahu in the seventh house can indicate a partner who's secretive, or there might be chances that you do not know about your partner that well, and there are things which you come to know subsequently, or there might be things which you never get to know about your partner. Okay, and Ketu again shows a similar gives a similar indication. Ketu in the seventh house, anyways, is not a very good placement for a timely marriage, also. Yeah. So that is it about the seventh house as of now. And the seventh house, interestingly, is, it deals with marriage, it deals with partnerships, etc. So this is something which I would be talking about in my subsequent videos, because marriage itself is a huge topic, right? So do keep watching my videos, and in case you have not subscribed till now, do subscribe. Tap the bell under the video and you'll be getting regular notifications as soon as I upload a video. Yeah, till then, stay happy and God bless. Thank you.